Hello, welcome to this week's edition of BOI Weekly. I am Terry Ikumi. The Bank of Industry's quest to empower Nigerians in various sectors of the economy has been extended to the Graduate Entrepreneurship Fund Scheme, the first youth program launched in October 2015, and other micro-entrepreneurs, such as furniture and shoemakers, bakers, tailors, among others. Now, since the disbursement of these loans, many of such entrepreneurs have taken their businesses to greater heights as they continue to access funds from the Bank of Industry. Two of such beneficiaries are Olaosebikon Olou, who runs Moocs Africa, an information technology outfit based in Jos, and Ilya Musa, who is into the business of honey production. On this week's edition of the program, we'll take a look at how these two beneficiaries are adding up to the economic development of the nation. Welcome to the program. Our team, as usual, visited the office and showroom of a fast-growing information technology company and the sprawling farm of a bee producer. They talked to us about the impact of the credit facility from BOI on their business. We begin with Olaosebikon, an information technologist. Olaosebikon is an ICT specialist who specializes in application, web and software developments, as well as corporate training, schools management systems, and development of online learning platforms. His company, Moocs Africa, an information technology company, registered in Nigeria, started in 2017. According to him, his quest to start the company began shortly after the completion of his National Youth Service Corps program, after studying computer science and with a commitment of providing innovative IT solutions in the education sector and for other small businesses.
Currently, like I said earlier, we provide IT services. Now, to be more specific, we actually develop IT solutions, both web-based IT solutions and mobile app-based solutions. And we provide a lot of training services, which include what we have both mobile training and localized training. For some time now, we've reduced our localized training because of venue size, but our mobile training includes we traveling across the country, running trainings on campuses across the country, especially IT-based training. So we train students of, for example, we have a training that we call IT career compliance training. What that means is that every field is powered today by IT. No matter what you're doing today, there is something you have to do with IT. So we created a series of training for different disciplines that are not necessarily in computer science. So for example, we train students or graduates of accounting, both students or graduates of accounting. We train them on the use of accounting software, like Sage accounting software and QuickBooks. And for computer science students while on campus too, we also run trainings for them on the use of things like web development and of course the business side of development, web development. Now, we also provide other services like with our Moocs Africa, we provide other services like learning management systems and school management systems. They are web-based solutions, but let me be more specific. So for example, for schools, we provide school management systems for schools. There are solutions that we build that are web-based, but that help to manage the entire activities of the school. We also provide what we call learning management system for schools and organizations. During the COVID era, a lot of attention turned to online learning. So a lot of schools needed to come up with a way to reach their kids without the physical classroom bother. Then our learning management system became a solution that was much more accepted and appreciated by schools. We built for a couple of schools the learning management system for schools. So it's a platform where teachers can teach their students even without being present physically in schools. And of course, we have this platform we're building online, which is a big, we're working on to be a major learning hub across the country and indeed across Africa, which is at moocaf.com. Basically, we're working on developing some series of courses that people can take online, which is still ongoing. Development is ongoing. We have about 500 courses that we're building currently, and the development is ongoing. Somewhere before the end of this year, we're hoping to have launched both online and on our apps generally. And for our staff strength, before we started working with BOI, especially in the previous in our previous institution, we had just 1 or 2 staff that we could work with. But ever since we got BOI, on ground we have at least 3 people that work on our projects, Then basically depending on the work we are doing. So if we have some work, we have freelancers that work with us on and off. They don't work here, depending on the project we have. Freelancer in total, plus our freelancers, plus in-house staff, and then of course people that do training as instance on contract. In total, depending on our project, could be up to about 10 from time to time, depending on the size of projects we are working on. But primarily at the office center, we have just 3 people physically here. We have 3 people physically here aside me that work on our projects, aside freelancers.
One of his major projects is an online learning platform being developed for the African continent.
It was then, there was a program, we've always heard about Bank of Industry, and to be honest, those days when we hear Bank of Industry, we just think it's for where Bank of Industry is for big players in the industry. One day we are going to become big players and all that. So nobody really bothers going to Bank of Industry, at least among my colleagues in business. But with time, we got to learn that there was this program by Bank of Industry in partnership with the federal government called Young Entrepreneurship Scheme, called YES, that's Young Entrepreneurship Scheme. The idea was to help to train young Nigerians and young business owners and entrepreneurs in Nigeria, and of course give them loan to power their business. So we then applied for this YES program. We went through a series of trainings at their office in Bauchi, and then over time, after the trainings, we got some disbursements for equipment and of course for working capital, which has been very beneficial to our business. So basically it was through a special program they were running then in partnership with the federal government on media. We heard about it, and of course there was a deadline to register, so we got registered and we got drafted into the whole thing.
Olowo's desire to expand the business led him to approach the Bank of Industry for a credit facility, a decision he describes as his best business resolution.
Yeah, basically before we got the BOI, before we had a relationship with BOI and got the input from BOI, businesses were trying to take off. Anybody starting business from scratch in Nigeria knows what I'm talking about. It could be sometimes very tough, especially when you're looking for investors and you probably don't have one yet. So before we got BOI, we had very few capacity to employ people. So we had a lot of ideas that we had to hold on with because there was no execution strength, though they are great ideas that we could have worked on. And of course, we had need of equipment which we didn't have to at the time, especially a lot of equipment that we needed to develop the projects we were working on. Those were not really on ground. So we were basically working more on our trainings, especially trainings that were done outside of our offices. And of course, a few web-based services we're providing for schools and other organizations. But we couldn't really expand to most of the things we wanted to work on. Through this YES scheme, we got a loan of about 2.5 million, and basically to get us equipment for the projects we were working on. Much of the loans came as equipment supplied to us, and then of course part of it for working capital. Basically, that's just it.
We see the tutorial class for upcoming ICT developers.
So example of our input device is the keyboard. It helps us to enter data, maybe in numeric form or alphabetic form.
The organization's core values of purpose, passion, pursuit and principles have been the driving force in service delivery, especially on the main projects that attracted the intervention of the Bank of Industry. The next report features Ilia Musa, a graduate of public administration who is into the business of honey production. Another industrious entrepreneur making waves in the business of honey production is Ilia Musa. A graduate of public administration from the University of Jos, 42-year-old Ilia Musa speaks on his adventure into the business of honey production as he applauds the Bank of Industry for playing a pivotal role in taking his business to the next level.
A Bank of Industry, a lot of people think that Bank of Industry, you go there and get money. But I realized that Bank of Industry, they don't really give you money, the solid cash, but they give you equipment, machineries. So out of 100%, they give you at least 70% goes for machines, equipment, and other things. 30% goes for your working capital. So by then, after I applied, I passed through a 3-month exams, online exams, because most of the materials, they do send it from South Africa, and you have to concentrate, do your best, answer it, pass the exam. About 18 subjects, and I passed the 18 subjects. So they invited me to Bauchi for an induction course training. So I went to Bauchi for a week. They teach us how to do marketing, labeling, a lot of things. That training was really rich. So from there, I paid more attention. Along the line, after everything, I have to apply. I applied for the loan, and the loan, there was no collateral. The collateral is my BSc certificate and my NYSC discharge certificate. So honestly, today, if not because of that bank, I don't think I'll be here. Today you can see that I started with a business name. A business name. The Bank of Industry knows me as Liyehila Global Concept. But from there, the business now, when I access that funds from them, today I have a limited liability company. And initially we are doing this thing together with my wife. But because we access this loan, now we don't really go and scout for the honey from other people or farmers, so to say. But at least we have our own apiary. We have up to 250 Kenyan top hives. And aside this, that's the one in our own apiary here within Jos. And we embark on training. It is through this intervention that we were able to scale our horizon, to go up to the extent of training young people here on the plateau and some part of Kaduna State, so that we do it a kind of outgrower scheme. We have 17 local government here on the plateau, so we are targeting, out of these 17 local government, if we can train up to like 20 youths and empower them with up to like five Kenyan top hives, you can imagine the harvest. So the intervention for this Bank of Industry, honestly, that is the thing that really brought this company to where it is today. Bank of Industry called my attention. I could remember as far back as 2018, around February, when the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, came to Jos about this SME clinic at Polo Field here in Jos. So along the line, the VP, they asked me, what are your challenges in the business? And I told him point blank that registration. And they say, what kind of registration? I said, NAFDAC registration. I believe if I have NAFDAC today, I believe I can break even. So it is because of the Bank of Industry that they even offered me a kind of a booth to showcase my product. And I was lucky when the Vice President came, he saw me there, he took my honey, I gave him some, I gave him the honey, I gave him the hair cream, the body jelly, the lip balm. I told him that he should go and try it. So along the line, when I told him that my major challenge is NAFDAC registration number, I was surprised. After a week or two, I received a call that the VP paid 50% of the NAFDAC registration number. So we have to commit ourselves by paying the remaining 50%. And that's how we got our NAFDAC registration number. So I think Bank of Industry, they look at me here on the plateau as the youth ambassador of that bank. Our vision for this business is we want to be the best beekeeper around the globe. And well, it's quite challenging. The reason why I say it's quite challenging, the challenge here is the issue of insecurity, because we don't harvest our honey broad daylight. A lot of people are really afraid of bees. Young people, you know, you have to train them, you have to put sense into them, you have to talk to them, you have to sensitize them about beekeeping. You know, a lot of people, they feel once they enter the apiary as if they will meet with their dead there. No, there are a lot of things that you can put on and make sure that you are safe. Whatsoever that you do, you make sure that you are safe. Once you are well kitted, you can do this thing. So what I'm looking at, I really want to see how my vision about this is to empower young Nigerians, to make sure that, as you can see, most of my staff here are ladies, are females. So at a point in time, I look at female, sorry to say it, but that's just my own opinion and the way I look at it. Women are more sincere when it comes to business. They don't really steal your things. I know I work with so many that I took them as part-time workers, but they end up stealing my things. But you see, the young ladies here, I am happy to see that they are not roaming the streets, you know, but at least this company have given them a sense of belonging. They can come here, at least spend up to like 8 hours here, go back home. When you go back home, you are tired. Don't think you want to go somewhere. So my vision for this business is to empower youth in general. You see, there are a lot of value chain in beekeeping. Beekeeping is one of the most lucrative business in Nigeria and around the globe. I can tell you that, quote me anywhere. You see, you can specialize on building the hives, because aside the Kenyan top bar hive, we have what we call Langstroth hive. Langstroth hive is too technical, you know, very, very technical, and that one you get it outside the country, you have to import it. But that one gives you more of honey than Kenyan top bar hive. Kenyan top bar hives can give you honey once, twice in a year, but Langstroth hive can give you like, you can harvest your honey quarterly, but in everything there's advantage and disadvantage. So the advantage of Kenyan top bar hives, you make sure you get more of chaff, and that chaff, that's the bee comb. That comb, that's the one that we process it. Initially, years back, I used to throw it away. I'll have to gather it and wait during rainy season. If there is a flood, then I'll begin to throw it away. So, but through research and development, I find out that you can extract wax out of it, and out of this wax, you can make hair cream, body jelly, shoe polish, aromatic candle. And aside the wax itself, there is what we call propolis, there is pollen, there is royal jelly, and there is bee venom therapy. This bee venom therapy, we are working on it, because in this company we have a lab scientist, food scientist, then we have a biochemistry, and we have an accountant. So these people, we sat down together, we rubbed mind, and I said they should go into research. How can we start the bee venom therapy? Because that bee venom therapy is just like acupuncture. Once you have rheumatism, we can take the live bee, and you have to pay us for the bee to sting you. This thing that people are afraid of is a medicine. It boosts up your immune system. So in beekeeping, I think 1 liter of honey, 1 liter is up to 3,000. 1 liter. So it's more than the fuel, the PMS. Well, today, today, look, I'm sitting here smiling. It's not easy. It's not easy for one business in Nigeria. It's not really easy, honestly. But I must commend the effort of the Office of the Vice President based on this SME support that the Vice President kept on preaching. Let me say the government entirely. So my advice to young entrepreneurs, it's not really easy. I always tell people that first, look unto God. Secondly, ask yourself, why are you here on planet Earth? Is it just for you to dress up and show up? I don't believe that. If you see the house I'm living now, it's just one parlor, 2 bedroom. You know, when you shout from the other room, you hear, I call it, let's meet in the parlor. So, but out of what I'm doing today, I think a lot of people, I become their role model because I am focused, and I expect the young entrepreneurs here in Nigeria, they should be focused. You know, there is no way life whatsoever, they said 1,000 miles, right? Begins with a step, one step. So perseverance, you have to be patient. Don't just think that it will just come like that. Today, this company, we have our NAFDAC registration number, we have our SON, MANCAP, and we pay our taxes. We pay our tax, we file our returns with Corporate Affairs Commission, that's CAC. So we preach, we do the right thing. What the government really wants us to do, we are doing it. And whatsoever, you can go and check about us. If you go to our website, you see it. So my advice to young entrepreneurs is for them to remain focused. Remain focused. There's a lot of challenges, especially if you ask most of the youths, they will tell you funding, finance. But try to know, what do you really want? Then concentrate and focus on it. It takes me years upon years, and today here am I.
Formerly known as the Yahila Global Concept, the bee farming and honey production company started in a small apartment along Rayfield Road in Jos.
Locally fabricated honey processing machine.
Okay.
But right now, it's down. It's not really working, so we go on manual. We allowed the honey to fall by gravity. After that, we do the sieving manually, and we allowed it to settle for at least a week or 2, so that the bubbles will come up. Once the bubble come up, we scoop it, then we begin to package it in 350 grams, 280 grams, then 700 grams as well. And it all depends on the quantity you want. We package it for you.
With little financial resources that could boost the growth of the business, until the intervention of the Bank of Industries program, the Youth Empowerment Scheme. With the BOI intervention, the bee farm was established on a 2-hectare land with about 420 apiaries, where honey is scooped from the comb through a thorough and very careful process that requires maximum protection against bee stings. The new factory site, which was acquired with the intervention facility, houses the production departments for the production of honey, processing and packaging, and other allied products. In addition to honey production and packaging, Bombo Rose Empire Limited is also involved in the production of food spices such as curry powder, chili pepper, turmeric, and cinnamon powder, among others.
Over the years, the Bank of Industry has continued to provide interventions for various industries to thrive, and there is absolutely more where that came from. The interventions have obviously provided tremendous positive impact on the lives of the beneficiaries and the public. Many also are very optimistic that the intervention would make meaningful contribution to the nation's socio-economic development. So are you an entrepreneur out there or know anyone in need of support to grow their business? Kindly visit any of the branches of the bank closest to you or log on to the website at boi.ng. You can also follow the bank on all social media platforms as displayed on your screen. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.